Hi, Sarah Hubbard. Thank you for joining me and being a guest on our Resilient Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here and then obviously get to meet you a little bit beforehand.
I'm very excited and appreciate Melanie's recommendation. So, Sarah is the founder and CEO of the Intentional Network and a new author with a book coming out this month. The book is The Intentional Networker. We're really excited to learn more about your business. Tell us a little bit.
Yes, so my business started, I started down a journey about 15 years ago where I thought I was gonna be a physical therapist because I'm an athlete. Then I fell into the mortgage business, and then through that mortgage business and lots of learning how to network, I realized that while it's my superpower, it's not networking is not a lot of people's superpower, and they dread it. They know they need to do it. Um, And so I was teaching a lot of my people that I was in my community and not only just my direct referral partners, but people were like, man, really CPAs, attorneys, people that are very good at their craft, but maybe not very great at people. And they have egos involved. So that doesn't always make it easy to say that they struggle with that. Really became people that were asking me a lot of questions, like outside of when I would talk or outside of when I would present something quickly at a networking group. And I realized, man, there's something here. And then I'm sure you have realized this when we're out networking. When you're first starting your business, a lot of what you have is time and not a huge budget. So you invest and go to things that are very low cost, chambers of commerce, different types of leads groups. And again, I've been through all of them. I've tried a different boatload of them. I still do some of them today, but a lot of them have let go. But there was really a gap between when you hit year 3 to 5, where a lot of magic happens in your businesses, and you want to keep striving for more. And the rooms that you keep putting yourself in have people that are taking from you. And so I wanted to create an environment, networking group, event space where we were putting people that were making $500,000 pre-tax revenue and wanting to go higher, wanting to hit that $7 million marker. But in order to do that, one of the biggest things is that you have to put yourself in rooms where people have already done this or doing it alongside with you, so that we can really go together, support each other, listen, learn, and network through all of that. So that's kind of how this all came to fruition.
I love that. And we were talking a little bit before the show about how we both have this background in connecting people and being natural networkers, but specifically the intentionality of being in the right room with your target audience. If you're looking for a peer group of support people, like you had mentioned, if you're looking for customers, if you're looking for a job, like you need to be in the right room with the right people in the right community. And then I'm sure we're going to talk more about, but like it's also not an instant, one time, immediate gratification, right? It takes time, and it is about a relationship, which takes time, and it is about being a member of a community and knowing the right room. And I actually have spent the last year and a half or 2 years sort of pivoting my intentional groups and networking, where the previous 20 years I was IT, and now I've pivoted into small, medium business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, executives of businesses. And so kind of moving away and like reinventing and rebranding as I've built and grown my businesses as well. And making sure you're spending your time wisely. It is an investment. You're either investing your time or your money, and you don't get your time back.
Well, and I would also add energy into that, right? I mean, there's different things that you get from different groups that you're a part of for different seasonality. I tell people this all the time. Networking, where you spend your time, it's seasonal. Just like you grow as an entrepreneur and a business owner, so does your networking and your marketing. It doesn't just stay complacent. Some things are great and they're working, and yeah, nurture those bad boys and go deeper with it, not necessarily wider. But networking is one of those things where you're out there, and if the energy and the vibe and the people aren't actually giving you black and white opportunities or ROI, you got to take the personalization out of it. They'll still be involved in your life. You got to look at the black and white sometimes and make the harsh decision of, hey, I've got to find something else or let go of something so something else can come in and take its place.
Yeah.
That will be more intentional.
Every time you say yes to the wrong thing, that should have been a no, you've taken away time for the thing that mattered more, that could have been a
Yep.
yes. And so, where are you going to spend your time at 5 p.m. on a Wednesday this week? Making sure that you're choosing wisely. We all have the same number of hours in a day, but it's what we're spending that time doing, right? If the
Absolutely. You
choice was
got it.
between going to the gym and going to a networking event, like, are you making the right choice? But if the choice is between scrolling TikTok and going to a networking event, let's make that right choice.
Let's be real honest about what we're trying to do here. And for a lot of my introverts, I interviewed a ton of introverts for my book because I wrote it. I'm an extrovert. So I could go work a conference, a huge room, and like get done and be like, are we going out? Let's go get a drink. Let's go out to eat and get a bite. Like I get super jazzed by it. There's so many people that are the complete opposite. So I wanted to make sure when I was publishing my book that it's encompassing of everybody, right? So that they could see, okay, well, I can't do what Sarah did, or maybe what Kate can do at 5 o'clock, and I'm dreading going. Well, let's make your schedule a little lighter. When you know that you have your monthly event on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m., don't schedule 4 client calls that are going to drain you back to back to back before you go. Because then, yes, you are going to want to go home to your safe spot and scroll TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. You're going to be burned. So let's talk about a little bit of time management on top of knowing who you are. There's nothing wrong with it. And know that you have some outs. You can maybe allot 45 minutes versus the 2 hours. Maximize your 45 minutes and make 2 or 3 new connections based off of who's going to be there, using AI as a tool, and have those conversations and then carry those conversations outside of the room, right? Because that's where you will be better as an introvert versus standing in a room of 50, white knuckling your glass going, what in the world? I can't, like, this is terrible. Why did I do this?
Yeah, I appreciate that too, because you're right. As an extrovert, it's easier for us to walk into a room where we don't know people, find a person, make a contact, make a connection, have a conversation, versus someone that takes a lot of effort. And yeah, my husband's the kind, and he'll say he's a borderline introvert extrovert. But the end of a workday, if he had to present all day at a conference, the last thing he wants to do is go out to the evening event. And he's like, I need like an hour of decompression, quiet time
Yeah.
in
Yes,
the
he can
hotel
rise up and
before.
do it. He
Yeah,
can rise up and be the extrovert or the energy that he needs to be to
after.
handle that type of thing.
Yeah,
But after he needs to fully recharge,
yeah. Don't talk to you.
shut it down.
So, I know you're a newer entrepreneur and business owner and a new book and starting to like spin off from the mortgage industry that you've been working in as well. So I'd love to find out more about your proudest achievement. This is the share the success. This is the highlight reel that everyone is easy for people to share, right? But what is your proudest achievement thus far as a business owner or entrepreneur, and how did it happen?
Yeah, so we kind of like just briefly tapped on it, but it will be when I started changing how I saw myself and presented myself in my mortgage business as a trusted advisor first, actional mortgage lender second. And then I let those beautiful things of people coming to me for needing a mechanic, a landscaper, a roofer, HR person, payroll person. Hey, we just hired 3 new people and I'm kind of have no idea these laws that are just changing. I'm in Colorado, right? So I have put all of these people in my place because I realized early on in my mortgage career, there was a huge stigma about how mortgage professionals were very selfish, very transactional. They didn't care a whole lot about the other people. They just cared about what they could do for them. And I was mortified why people still to this day here I do mortgage financing. They're all like, and I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm also a founder of the Intention Network, an author, a speaker. I like there's so much more to all of us, but very easily do we get kind of labeled by what we do professionally. So I've started to really try to break the mold in my mortgage career after 15 years and really started getting traction with that about 3 to 5 years into my mortgage career. And now I have built that into the Intentional Network, which is all about true relationships. I have a huge abundance mindset. My group is industry agnostic. I think there is a time and a place for a BNI and specific, career groups. But my thing is if I put myself in a room with 5 other mortgage lenders and all of us brainstormed what has worked over the last 3 toughest years in the mortgage industry over the last 30 years, we probably could have made it through these last 3 years a heck of a lot better than where we ended. 2024, half the industry exited. So, like I think about co-collaboration, putting us together, brainstorm. Hey, I tried this Google Leads thing and it was terrible. this other person's about to try it. So let's talk about what didn't work for me so you don't make those same mistakes, and sharing. And that's where magic truly happens in relationships. You talk about building trust sooner. That's it right there. That co-collaboration, you will jump from a 6 month time frame to like a month and a half time frame when you are sharing the truly hurdles or the true things that are going on with you, your business at that point in time. So that's where the intentional network came from. And really just taking me out of the transaction first viewpoint, relationships first, always with the utmost integrity, no matter whether it serves me with a direct dollar value for my mortgage business or the intentional network, or it really is just the right thing to do at that point in time.
I love that for so many reasons. I relate so much to your background too, and you know, I'm not in the mortgage industry. I'm in IT consulting services, but still, it it's too often sales professionals same bad rap. You're just about the transaction and the dollars and the profit and the greed, right? But it's not. It's always about the relationship and learning from each other. I always joke like I've never met competition. I've only met collaboration partners. Everyone's a partner. I kind of overuse that like partner, but I feel like there's always someone that you can learn more from and they might differentiate. They might be better for a smaller medium transaction or business than a large business or in this industry vertical or in this geographic region. And so like there's still differentiation and specialization and there could still be a referral partner, but you can also learn, right? Like what works, what doesn't work, and make us all best of breed and better by knowledge sharing. Um, but learning that not everyone is competition and that not all mortgage brokers are competition. And then the referral sources could come from anywhere. It's not just real estate agents, right?
No.
I mean, you never know who's doing a refi on their current home. They're not actually moving. They may not even engage a realtor if they're just in their home and they got a higher rate and they need to pull out equity to go do a construction project, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everyone knows someone that could be a potential customer or referral partner, right? So
Yeah.
you never know where your next lead's going to come from. So it's very interesting.
You do not. It's very interesting. And keeping it with curiosity and, just learning how to talk about your business comes with time and effort, right? Like it's not like you're just going to crush it on the first time or be like, man, I said that and that was just a lot that I said right then and there. That wasn't quite what I meant. It's it's no mistake. You just learn from it and pivot for the next one on the next conversation.
And I also love that you started something where you found there was a gap or a need or a missing thing that you would benefit from and invited people into that. I've often created those communities that didn't exist to support other women in tech or women in leadership or leaders in transition or some sort of group because I think that's the best business owners. They're solving a problem or providing a service in a gap,
Mm-hmm.
fills a void.
Absolutely.
Well, now we're going to get into the harder question because I think too often on LinkedIn and Instagram and everywhere that you look on social media platforms, people are only sharing about their achievements and their successes and the highlight reel, right, of what's working. Um, and we also need to understand that not everyone is going to be a millionaire and make it and be successful in year one. And it's not also a comparison or a race, but there's a lot of hard lessons and mistakes and opportunities and failures along the growth journey that you sometimes have to pivot, right? We've been in a really crazy world and market these last couple of years outside of even just mortgage and home industry, just in general, right? With a lot of disruption. And so as business owners, we're constantly trying to think and figure out if we are pivoting to where the demand is going to be for the service or the product that we are offering. So are you willing to share one of your challenges or lessons learned with us about your growth journey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It'll evolve around mortgage for a little bit, but come full circle back to what we were talking about. So in the mortgage industry, I came in as kind of like a back end. I did our loan processing for a while, about 5 years, and I learned the ins and outs. And I was with a company that I'm still with this company, but all of the men were loan originators and they were making buco bucks. And so what they did was they sent direct mailers. And every time I say this, people are like, what? And I'm like, I know. And they still do it to this day. Now, there is some strategy behind this. They're not just spraying and praying and hoping for the best, but they're looking at areas with area and median income. They're looking at appreciation values. They're looking at, is this an area in by like Army or Navy or some type? Is there a lot of veterans over here? Like just different things. They are intentional. But as I did my loan processing job and did very well for myself, I was like, man, I could do this. And they were like, you should come over to the sales side. And so I did. And I didn't know any different at the time. So I did what they told me to do, which was send these direct mailers. And over $60,000 in debt 4 months in, I was drowning. I was like, this is horrible. People are calling me and they're like, what's the rate? And I'm like, what's your name? Who are you? I don't know what the rate is. And they just kept telling me, you got to spend money to make money. You got to spend money to make money. Just keep doing it. I had all my credit cards maxed. I was, my fiance and I, like, he went from like, hey, Sarah, you're making beautiful six figures and we're going on all these vacations and stuff to nothing. I was so upset. I mean, one, I didn't function really well under debt, but two, I just didn't see a way out. And I was like, what's happening? This is horrible. Like, nothing about what I'm selling. I don't even sound good about what it is that I'm talking about because I'm not even passionate about it. And then I realized that there was this whole other avenue of networking that came with it. And yes, I pulled myself out of the debt and I paid off all of that credit card debt since relatively quickly once I leaned into the fact that I am not meant to sit behind my desk and wait for my phone to ring. I am one to go out there and to make stuff happen and to let people be attracted to me for me. And to this day, my bosses and my coworkers in my mortgage space still would rather flip burgers at McDonald's than go to a networking event, which boggles my mind, but that's who they are as individuals, right? I am never going to change it. I can come with suggestions and I can offer my hand to take them with me and to learn how to do it. But over the last 3 years of a really tough business, I am the only one that's consistently had leads and business coming in. Now, have they been the best years of my career? Hell no, they have not been the best years of my career, but they have been consistent and I enjoy every single minute of it now because I'm doing something that aligns with me. But it took me months and a boatload of debt to figure that out. And so I consider that while it is a failure, right, and I beat myself up over it for a little while, truly what it is now was alignment, right? It showed me what I needed in order to be successful in this venture of mortgage financing and then now in this venture of intentional networking and speaking.
Yeah. And it probably is a lot about the book that you came up with because you learned how to network and that networking was a different way of maybe getting the same results or leads, but a better way for you. Right. I same had been in sales my whole career. Never great, never wanting to do the cold calling, email campaign. I mean, I hate when I get solicited on LinkedIn with a
Yes,
three-step automated campaign. They obviously have used AI and missed the boat and don't know who I am and what I do. It's not personal, it's not intentional.
at all.
Right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, ignore immediately when you're right. And as a sales professional, like I can see through it. But networking events, conferences, meeting people live, talking individually to someone, learning more about them, hopefully introducing them to someone that benefits them. And then later they think of me when the timing is right and they have a friend that has a problem that is more aligned with the service or solution that I offer. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the patience, but also I love that you said the alignment of knowing what your strengths are, what you're good at, and the highest value work that you perform at and that excel at. Do that stuff, and then if you need to delegate to the things that you don't do well to someone else on your team, or find someone else to do the things that you're not the best at or not great
Correct.
at.
100%. I completely agree. Use some of the fractional stuff that we had, VAs that are now available today. There's so many. I mean, we talked about AI. I use AI in my book and it's a beautiful tool, but you also have to learn how to teach it properly. You also have to learn how to do it, make it sound like you. And, like you just said, I get LinkedIn messages all the time and I'm like, did you even read my profile? Did somebody? No, you didn't. But like, it's also why it's so important for the personal piece of it in the networking world to continue to happen. Because this will continue to go. AI will continue to get smarter. and do things. And it may get harder for us to track what's real and what's not. That's okay. That's how things are going to progress. It's how the internet progressed from 2000 to now, right? But if we can keep those relationships, they will be your bread and butter from here on out, no matter where you are in your journey. Whether you're looking for a new job, starting a new company, looking for leads, looking for somebody to hire, whatever it is, all of that will carry you through.
Yeah, I agree. I use AI, but you got to use it the right way. It's got to be your voice, your tone trained, and and supplement or augment you and your strengths. But people still want that human relationship, that trust, and that human interaction, and that part you can't delegate or outsource. Or I mean, I use all the offshore, nearshore outsourcing and AI. I'm a huge fan,
Yep.
big part of a lot of the services I offer, right? But there are some things that only Kate can do or only Sarah can
Agreed.
do.
100%.
And I love, there's a radio station locally that says guaranteed human is one of the things. Like our DJs and
Oh, I
our
love
people are
that.
people. It's not AI, and so guaranteed human. And so I'm like I want to kind of clone that too. Like I'm not going to tell you I never use AI because I have been in technology and I see there's a benefit to it, and it needs to be used properly. But I think people are also going to crave that human interaction as well.
I think that there's so much information out there, AI or not, before this whole thing came up with open AI and stuff. People still needed to call me to explain a mortgage process. So they're like, I don't know, I'm reading all these terms and I'm watching these videos of people, but I still don't understand what this means. I
Mm-hmm.
still need somebody to tell me more about it or guide me along the process. So we still will need it. I actually really like, I'm like guaranteed human. Somebody better not have trademarked that because we might start using it.
So AI can be wrong.
Yeah,
it's like a hypothesis
yes,
or an educated guess, and so you also need to verify the source and verify the facts and like challenge it sometimes. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and so I would never trust AI wholly. Right? Like there's certain things you're going to need to go to a lawyer, a CPA for your taxes, a mortgage broker. Like there are still certain things that you're going to need to pay the human expert.
to do. Yes, please.
So I know your book's coming out soon. I want to give you a little bit of a chance to tell us about the book because I think it's going to come out really close to when this is being going live, right? So let's talk about your book and let's talk about the future and like what's next for you as you're building the intentional network.
Yeah, so my book is written exactly like how I talk. I verbalize most of that bad boy, to be completely honest with you, because writing is not my strongest suit of life. I'm very much better at talking, relationships. But I take you through a framework. I call it the MAP framework, but in mindset, intention, authentic presence, precise messaging, and purposeful follow through. And I take you through certain stories and why each is important to have in part of your systems of networking, because just like it is for systems in your business, eventually it can't just all live with you. In order to have growth, in order to have forward steps, it has to have live with other people. So your networking is very similar to that. And in each of those sections, there's AI prompts to help you get dialed in to each of those. So what my mindset and intention for a certain event could be different from Kate's, it could be different from Melanie's, it could be different from so and so. And that's the beauty of it, right? But you have to go in and have clarity. You have to know what your ask is going to be. You have to show up as yourself, whether you're wearing your heart on your sleeve or you're showing a fraction of who you are, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not saying that you have to go and tell everybody all of your dirty laundry, but you have to show up as you because that's who you're going to attract when you're in your relationship sphere. And when you're learning about how people talk and you're like, oh, you would be a great fit for so and so, you learn that through interaction of authentic presence. Precise messaging is really, really exactly how it sounds. How many times have you stood up in a room, people do their 30-second introduction and the hi, my name is, and this is what I do, and this is what I'm looking for, and they're using terms that you're like, I have no idea what that means, or they're using abbreviations, or they're using the word anybody, or like too broad. All of those are common mistakes that we have all made throughout our journey. The precise messaging is going to challenge you to simplify it, pretend you're talking to a 10-year-old, really just get specific on what you need at that point in time. It's not saying that you can't help many, many different people. I can help a ton of people in my mortgage career, But when you say the word anybody, people cannot grasp onto what that means. And now it's completely lost, and that impact that you want to leave for people to you to stay top of mind is gone. So switch it out monthly, switch it out quarterly, whatever it is that you want to attract for your business plan or goals, that's what your ask is going to be, and it's going to be specific. Weave it into a story. If humor is your gig, weave in a little humor into that. If you are dry and super serious, please, by all means, be that, because that's what people are going to see and attract and make that introduction on the back end. And then the last piece is the purposeful follow through. I go on a lot of tangents on my socials sometimes about when you get an email that says, I'm just following up, those like words are like nails on a chalkboard for me. I'm like, stop saying it. You are doing that. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Internally, you are just following up. But did you learn anything about them? Right. I learned that you've got two kiddos that are older than my 3-year-old. Right. I know that you are on the East Coast and I'm in Denver. Right. Little things that I have picked up in our, I don't know, hour that we've been together thus far that I can interweave and be like, how are the kids doing? Are you guys almost done with school? Any fun summer plans? I was listening to this podcast and it made me think of you. Let's grab coffee, let's grab a drink, or let's just jump on a Zoom call or whatever it is. Use what you have going on in your life, what you're educating yourself on, what you're spending your time on, even if it's not professional, right? I love me some romantasy books. I read them all the time and they're great. Some people like just need an out. Like they don't need to listen to more things or more books, right? They're just like, hey, I read this book and my gosh, I ate it up in like 2 days. It was so good. I know you're into this as well. I hope you enjoy it. But adding that value piece isn't as complicated as everybody makes it seem. But if you're just using the words, I'm just following up, it makes you feel like you are AI at this point. It's like you're working down the checklist. So you have to add some personalization. On my purposeful follow through, I use AI. I open it up when I'm in between calls and I just dump into it. And I say, hey, I just met Kate Lewis. She is in, Raleigh, North Carolina. She's got two kiddos. Like her husband is speaking, but like whatever I could gather, I just brain dump it. It goes right into my CRM from there. And then when I'm going to put follow up in for you, whether it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a week from now, I reference back to that and say, what else can I put into this conversation that makes it seem human and makes it seem like it's me? Because that's what's most important. I can promise you your emails are getting a lot deleted much quicker if you're saying, I'm just following up to the conversation we had last week. Okay, well, I had 100 conversations last week. So let's, so get a little creative. And I can tell when I give this point to a lot of business to business professionals, their faces are like, what? I can't say just following up. I'm like, you can, but what you're going to get in return is going to be far slower than what you're looking for. So find a way to humanize it and find a way to make it be you.
So many gold nuggets. And the self-restraint, like I'm sitting here like nodding, but trying to not like look like a bobblehead of love. First of all, the actual ask and the follow-up, like so many people don't even follow up. I cannot tell you how many people I meet at networking events that LinkedIn connect with me that don't have a business card, that never follow up at all, period. So having some sort of system or follow up, or even if it's just one time. And the goal of that networking event is always to go get the one-on-one coffee or one-on-one call with someone to go deeper in a one-on-one setting after, because you're only surface level meeting someone in a room. But the personalization and intentionality. When I was younger, I used to have a stronger memory that I could remember all of the facts about people and things, and where they were from or where they went to college or where they worked and stuff. And my brain is failing me as I've gotten older, but we do have AI.
Also, momming is a real problem with that situation.
The number of tabs open in my brain as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a middle-aged female is incredible. So I need to rely on a system and a tool and a CRM and a process, or AI for those things, is huge. And I love the this reminded me of you. Are you going to be at this next event? I met you at the previous WBON event. The next one is in February 5th. Are you going to be at this event? Right? Like just those little things, like that are the personal ask or the reminder, or that I read this and thought of you. I do a lot of that. This made me think of you. You came across my mind, you came across my desk type of thing. And then the book sharing, because I think it's not always about professional. You really get to know people when they have shared something personal. That's how you build rapport. And that's how you become more memorable. If you talk about the vacations or the book clubs or the sports team or the something that you have in common, right?
Hmm.
Is huge. So all of those nuggets, I'm really excited about this book, and all the things that you've highlighted on there. And I think it's just good habits for everybody, regardless of what their role is. So too often do I, in my networking circle, find it's only job seekers that are going to networking events after they've lost their job. And like that's reactionary and not intentional and not proactive in advance of building those relationships. Or it's only sales professionals, or it's only, right, people that are selling a product or a service that are doing the intentional networking. But really, even a happily employed person could benefit from networking, because you should always be trying to be curious and to learn from others and to build community and to know what's going on and to hear other people's perspectives, even within your profession, industry. Find a group, get involved.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I love that. So in the future, we have your book coming out, and hopefully we'll tag where you can get the book. And we talked about how you're going to do that. I'm going to end with, how can I help you?
A great question. Just so you know, the way I ask this in my book is, if I were to be of value to you, what would that look like?
Oh, all right. Hopefully my transcript picks that up for us.
If I was to be of value to you, what would that look like? I try to leave at least a couple minutes towards of any conversation, and I ask that, and then 10 to 1, that person should ask you what they can do. If they don't, that's okay. They're just not a you person. You just move right on. That's part of life. But I would say right now, um, I'd love to ask you to be on my soft launch of my book team. What that really just means is, when it comes out, I'm gonna allow you to buy it for like 99 cents. And if you could at least just put a good little effort in and leave a review on Amazon, or pass it on to somebody in your network that could really benefit. And then my second ask would be, if you are a part of any associations or know anybody that's looking for a female speaker to come in and pour into them on marketing, business development, and networking. Great opportunity for me. Those people that I'm really looking forward to, that I help the most here in Colorado, are CPAs, attorneys, engineers, IT people, people that are great at their craft, but terrified to go into that room. Those are beautiful people for me to connect with.
I love that. Yeah, we should definitely talk. I have a lot of events that are local here in RTP, but if it would be worth it for you to come on out, if you could get a speaking engagement, maybe we do some networking and bring you out. There's a lot of groups that I lead, and um, I have a lot of we could share a lot of the stories of what not to do when you go to a networking event.
There's a tremendous amount of them.
I love that. Well,
And
thank
how
you.
about for you, real quick?
Oh, well, I was going to ask, now that you've been on my show, and you were the referral from Melanie. So now that you've been on my show, I always ask, who do you recommend for me to interview next? Because I love hearing the stories from other entrepreneurs.
I have a list of 3 ladies that I pulled out prior to, while I was just prepping,
Yeah.
that they are all here in the Denver area, but very different. Like, one is HR, one's a commercial real estate agent. Very just strong, powerful stories that I think will relate a lot to your listeners.
I love that. I would love their names. And one of my really good friends from one of my groups just relocated to Colorado. I don't know where
Really?
in Colorado, so I'll have to find out and connect the
Oh,
two of you.
doesn't
I
matter.
have to connect you
Connect
with
us.
Jamie. Yeah. So that would be great. Well, thank you again, Sarah, for coming on my show and just being open and honest and sharing your stories and your journey. And I wish you much, much success in your
Thank
launch
you.
of your new book, and as you continue to grow and build a business and help teach others how to intentionally network.
Thank you so much.
This has been fun.